In 2006, in Columbus, Ohio, 27-year-old medical student Brian Shaffer went out for what was supposed to be a normal Friday night. Just weeks earlier, Brian had lost his mother to cancer. Friends said he was heartbroken but trying to stay strong. That night, he met his friend Clint at the Ugly Tuna Salona, a popular bar near Ohio State University. Security cameras captured Brian entering the bar at 1:15 a.m. He looked calm, relaxed. At one point, he was seen talking casually with two women near the escalator entrance. He smiled. He laughed. Nothing about his behavior suggested stress or fear. After a few minutes, he stepped back inside the bar. That was the last confirmed sighting of Brian Shaffer. Around 2 a.m., the bar began closing. People slowly filtered out. Clint waited outside, expecting Brian to appear at any moment. But he never did. At first, his friends assumed he had left early without telling them. Maybe he went home. Maybe he met someone else. But the next morning, Brian didn't answer his phone. And that's when the confusion turned into concern. Police were contacted, and investigators quickly obtained the surveillance footage from the bar. They watched carefully as Brian entered the building, but no camera ever showed him leaving. Not through the main entrance, not through the side exit, not through the emergency doors. It was as if he had simply vanished inside. And what investigators discovered next would only deepen the mystery. Detectives reviewed every angle of the surveillance footage. Every single person who entered the bar that night was later seen leaving, except Brian. The only alternative exit was a service door leading to a construction area. However, that route was partially monitored, and there was no clear footage of him using it. Search teams combed through the building. Bathrooms, storage rooms, offices, the basement, even unfinished construction zones. Nothing. No signs of a struggle. No blood. No abandoned clothing or personal belongings. His car remained parked outside. His wallet was never recovered. His cell phone initially went straight to voicemail. Then, according to reports, it gave off faint pings for several months. After his disappearance, before going completely silent, there was no confirmed evidence of violence. No clear suspects. No witnesses who reported seeing him leave. The footage was reviewed again and again, frame by frame. Each time, the same result. Brian walks in, but he never walks out. And that's when the theories began. One theory suggested Brian slipped out unnoticed through the construction site and suffered a fatal accident, perhaps falling into an unseen shaft or hidden space. But investigators searched the area extensively. No remains were found. Another theory was voluntary disappearance. Brian had been grieving the loss of his mother. Some believed the emotional toll might have pushed him to walk away from his life entirely, but those who knew him disagreed. He had upcoming exams in medical school. He had plans for a spring trip to Miami. He had a long-term girlfriend. His father publicly stated he did not believe his son would ever abandon his future. Police interviewed friends, bar staff, and dozens of patrons who were present that night. No reports of a fight. No suspicious arguments. The two women Brian had spoken to were identified and cleared. Everything about the evening appeared completely ordinary, which made the disappearance even more disturbing. Because if nothing unusual happened, then how did he disappear? As months turned into years, the mystery only deepened. The Ugly Tuna Salona eventually closed. The building changed ownership. The neighborhood was renovated. But Brian Shaffer was never found. His father continued searching tirelessly, giving interviews, and pushing for renewed investigations, until he tragically passed away in 2008 without ever learning what happened to his son. Online, investigators began analyzing the surveillance footage obsessively. Some believed the answer was hidden somewhere in plain sight, but every review led to the same chilling conclusion. Brian walks into the bar at 1:15 a.m. He talks. He smiles. He steps inside. And then, nothing. No evidence of violence. No confirmed exit. No trace. To this day, the disappearance of Brian Shaffer remains one of America's most baffling unsolved cases. A man entered a crowded bar filled with cameras, and somehow he never came out.